All right, all right, all right, all right. Y'all ready? Big Lonzo, Concrete Radio. Y'all know what time it is, man. We out here. Okay, you see the groove, Karla? Oh,
We on screen
so
now? We live now?
we live now.
Yeah, good.
We super live. Let the music ease out on real quick though. Hold on. Okay. I like the groove right here. For those that don't know, this beat is made by yours truly, your man
I was
Lonzo.
just about to ask that. Are you getting back into? Well, I guess you never really left music, but are you starting to like rev it up now?
Oh yeah. I've been sitting on. I ain't gonna hold you, Karla. I've been sitting on like an album for like 3 years. I got so much music just in the cut. Fun fact: I was featured on a song this past year with my guy Young Rob, and it got 200,000 views on YouTube. So you know what I mean? We out here. So
Um,
it's
you need
dope.
to
It's
release your
dope.
EP.
I know, for real. But y'all know what it is, man. We are here live on the world's greatest show, Concrete Approved, where we highlight and celebrate some of the greatest in the industry and in the business, and just the movers, the shakers, and the groundbreakers. That's what we do here. And I got a very special guest today. Somebody that I've watched grow from a little tulip to a whole bristle of flowers now.
In my shell, like, oh, I don't want nobody to look at me.
Listen, she's doing like, oh yeah. There was definitely there was definitely conversation about going live. Like I
I,
don't really want to do
I
that.
don't think people like when I was with Concrete. Very very beginning, you would say, oh, you got to do interviews, so my like the first interview you did with me, right? And then
Hmm.
the second one, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm a log on. So I log on and start the interview, and I'm like, where's Lonzo? And you never come. And I was like, well, I guess I can do it by myself now. So
There it is. Yep. It was all the plan. You know what I'm saying? It
uh,
was all in the plan to be like, you got this. Spread them wings and fly. And look at you now. You out here, I'm gonna dive into all this, but you in here with a award-winning podcast. You out here going live, celebrating people, making
mm,
pathways for other creators underneath you, and that right there is the concrete mission. That's the way.
mhm,
Make that pathway, bring people on board, and let them all blossom. And that's
mhm.
what I've been seeing you doing. So I'm gonna just say here live, I am super duper proud of you, Carlos,
Thank
for
you.
everything that you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you.
Everything. So there is a lot of people that may not know who you are and know what you do. So take a second to introduce yourself and let people know who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hmm. So thank you for joining us. My name is Karla Moon. That's my pen name, Medrano. So I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I am a nurse, and currently I'm in school to get my master's because eventually I will want to be. I'm going to be educating nurses. I'm also a writer. I'm a writer. I did start off with Concrete Comics. We parted ways last year so I could start my own label, um, imprint, which is called Black Girl Comics.
Hmm.
So my flagship title, Luna, will be re-released under Black Girl Comics. I'm working on. I've finished 3, so Luna 1, 2, and 3 will be released in May. And then but I've been in this space probably since a good 2018 when Black Panther came out, and I got interested in comics. But I noticed that there aren't a lot of women or creatives who may identify differently. They weren't really recognized during award season, like during the Eisners, the Ringos. It was a handful of women being recognized every year, and sometimes the same women will be winning those awards when
Hmm.
there's hundreds of other of women who have really great stories, but they're not being recognized because they may be indie or they just don't have the bandwidth to promote themselves as they should. So I started the Zelda Awards, which is named after Zelda, Jackie Zelda Orms, who was one
Hmm.
of the first. I would say the first, but I don't want to be too absolute. But she was one of the first Black cartoonists in the United States, and around the 30s and 40s, when it was really hard to do anything if you were Black. But she really revolutionized. She was a trailblazer because she, through her artwork, she, did social commentary, just like you would see, today with the political cartoons. She spoke on things like the civil rights, the riots, just everything that was impacting the Black community. You saw it through her work. And she's just a trailblazer. So I named those awards after her. And I hope, and the award ceremony is this Saturday, from our from the YouTube channel. So,
So you touched on a lot of things that we definitely gonna touch on because what you doing cannot be brushed over. You know, when you're trailblazing and making a way for people generations later that will just be hearing your name, may not even know, not get to meet you because of the things you set in place 50 years ago.
mm-hmm.
That's the type of things that you're doing right now, and we definitely going to dive into that. But before we get into that, we got to know who we're talking to here. Like everyone has one of these, right? Everyone has a villain story or a hero story. I don't know where you landed on hero or villain, but what is your origin story? Like
uh,
where did Moon the storyteller
mm,
originate from? How did you become this person that you are now?
yeah. I mean, well, when I was younger, I used to write all the time, and then life happened, and you stopped doing some of the things that you love.
Hmm.
I think around COVID was when I was able to slow down and dive back into my writing. And of course, there are a lot of things going on even before COVID that inspired me to get back into writing. And I always attribute Chadwick Boseman's performance of T'Challa, in his adaptation of the character, to
Hmm.
why I got into comic books. Like I've always loved the superhero movies. I loved X-Men, but to dive back into the genre of comics, or to dive
Hmm.
into the comics, that's where it came from. And then I started writing a book called Luna, but I got bored and I was like, I don't want to write a book. I just rather just, write a comic book. So that's how Luna became a comic book. And Moon is just the Spanish as the English word, of Luna, moon meaning moon.
Yeah.
Um, and then we aligned, and Luna was released under Concrete. Luna 1 and 2 was released under Concrete. We did very well with our Kickstarters. And it really, that story resonated with a lot of people, male, female, and in between. Um, and I think that's where really, and then just being around other indie creators and
Hmm.
seeing how much, and learning so much about the art form, appreciating the efforts that go behind indie comics. And again, just seeing how some groups of people aren't recognized as they should be, I feel, in these during the award season. So that's a little bit of my origin story.
Do you remember the first time you did creative writing and what
A,
it was?
a what?
The first time you did creative writing and what it
Oh,
was?
oh yeah, I was a child. I used to write poetry. And I
Hmm.
remember one of the poems I wrote for an English class, like in middle school, and the English teacher submitted it to this state book, this book that was being formed by this. I don't know what it was, but it was eventually published. And my parents bought the book, and that's really the first
Oh.
thing. I don't even remember the book. I don't even remember the poem. But I remember I used to write poetry a lot. And then when you start getting crushes, and you start
Yeah.
seeing, you start noticing boys, that's when I really started to get into writing. And I wrote a lot of slice of life, coming of age, like little short stories. And then just life happened. So, but
Yeah.
I started writing when I was a little girl.
Do you remember that feeling of what it felt like for people to be excited about something that you created from your head? Like just a story that they're like, yo, this is pretty dope. What
Yeah, I
was
was.
that first experience like?
It was with Concrete with Luna One. I
Really?
was actually, I love the story.
Hmm.
You love the story, but
I
to
love the
to
story
to to,
for sure.
to publicly, to share it publicly, and for people for me to get the feedback that I did, I was actually surprised. But that lasted for like a few weeks, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I know I got a good story. But I think the most rewarding part about when people love your story is when they resonate with a character that you created. And really, all the characters are really extensions of you, really.
Yeah,
And all the characters in my stories are really extensions of me, just exaggerated. So it's just, and so therefore, you feel like this person is starting to really, understand the part that you're showing, and can connect. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, and I hope that feeling continues when I release Luna 3. And also, I'm working on some other stories. I'm working on a fan fiction that I hope will. I mean, I know it will be received by those who love that genre.
hmm,
Um, but it's a bold move for me because usually, whenever you do a fan fiction, you have people who are crazed.
yeah.
This not
Oh
this
yeah, it's
not
gonna be some crazies.
but
Crazies gonna pull up for
yeah.
sure.
But this year I'm going to live in my delusions. I'm going to just continue to operate as if this I'm here, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to produce. So, for me, I tell myself this is the best story of the year.
Hmm.
So I can stay enthusiastic and motivated to continue the story, even if something's going on. Like health wise, it's been difficult, um, and
Yeah.
actually in June now I'm having surgery, and that's a little scary because it might affect my voice. And
Mm.
I've been given an opportunity to um, record for a pilot for hopefully a TV. It can be on TV, and I'm really scared, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my voice? But I'm just going to live in my delusion. I'm like, okay, everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be fine. And I pray that it is. And we'll cross that bridge. If, my voice might be different. It might not be the same voice, but, um, I'm just going to live in my delusions and just continue to work and create and write. And writing really is something that I should be doing full time. I just haven't been able to pay the bills with it yet. But
Yeah.
like I sat down for the past month. I've been writing this one story, and I made like 5 scripts already. You rough drafts, but 5 scripts, just writing constantly because the story just feels right now to tell it. And so I think that's really that's my mantra this year is live in your delusions.
Living your delusions is a
Yeah.
good one. And
Hmm.
let's all say, prayers and a successful surgery that's going to
Thank
be coming
you.
up, and your voice is going to stay the same. I mean, nothing's
Thank
going
you.
to happen there. I feel that deeply. So
I hope so.
everything is going
Thank
to
you.
work out perfectly for you.
Thank you.
And everything, nothing happens for no reason as well. Like everything that you're going through is what you're supposed to go through to get to where you're going. Like nothing happens by mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And now it's your story is amazing. There's so many chapters within your story that I know that you skipping over like years of growth growth
Oh
spurts, right?
yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
you know,
yeah. I think I'm so good about summarizing now.
oh yeah, but I think that's what makes it dope because it's so much more space for interviews, right? Like it's so many questions I have for you that I can keep going and keep going and keep finding things. And I think that's what's amazing about your story about a girl like you coming up and just diving into your dreams and like you said what your mantra is for this year. I think that's been your mantra your whole life.
Yeah,
If you really think about it,
yeah.
you've always you seem like you've always dove into what you wanted to create, no matter what nobody said, no
Hmm.
fear. You just like, let me just try it. Because
Hmm.
even getting into comic books, like I want to dive into, the thought of making a comic book is easy. Just be like, yeah, I want to make a comic book. But when you got into the production and you really got into the business of it, what was that journey like? Like that
Hmm.
when we were building you up not only as the book, but we were building you up as a creator, how to move out here, how to talk out here. Like, what was that whole experience like up until the book dropped.
I know. I mean, we work so hard in indie. We really do because we have to do everything. Like, we don't have a huge machine behind us that is, taking care of the business end, and all we have to do, not the business end, I don't want to say that, taking care of the business. um and and we're just writing. Like, we have to think about, of course you have to create a good story. That's number one. I think that's like 50% of it, is creating a good story that
Mhm.
makes sense, that is different, that reflects who you are, reflects what your mission, your statement, and what you want people to really take away. That's 50% of it. But the other 50% is, working with other people, promoting it, making sure the script reads well across the pages. Like, I remember I think we were talking about either Luna 1 or 2, and you said, well, I want to make sure that we let's move these panels up here, because when they
Yeah.
turn the page, it can kind of flow better. Like, there's things that you never think about.
Yeah.
So it's just the whole production behind the comic that indie creators, we have to think about. Whereas people who may only have worked with mainstream may not necessarily think about, unless they've chosen to get into that aspect of their journey. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I think people who don't create comics, they wonder, like, why do you only make one comic a year? Marvel makes,
Yeah.
20 a month or whatever they do. I'm like, then you have no idea
I
what it
don't
takes
know.
to go, create a comic book. So I learned a lot with Concrete. I really did. And now that I'm doing it on my own, I know what questions to ask. I know who, like, I look at different creators and I'm like, I love what they did here. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask them, how did they do it? And I love what they do here, so I can incorporate it into my own books.
Yeah.
And I've done some trial and errors. Like, I said, I'm gonna print with Amazon. Amazon's printing is terrible. Like, the
Hmm.
colors were washed out. I was like, oh my
Muddy,
God,
muddy, and
yeah, her
saturated.
skin looks
Yeah.
terrible. And Luna has beautiful chocolate skin and beautiful blonde hair. And I'm like, this looks terrible. So I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
go back to the drawing board. And okay, and I finally found a publisher that people highly recommend. So I'm going to go with them and see what happens. But
Yeah.
it's a journey. It's a journey, but it's fun, because you do have to learn how to run your own business, because it's a business. It's not just, I made a comic and here it is. It's a business behind it.
There's a lot
Um,
that goes into it. A lot of people don't realize how many, because we, before we even spoke about the comic book coming out, we were in the kitchen for months, just
mhm,
crafting, getting it right, thinking
mhm,
about what's the first picture we're going to promote, what's going to be the caption on that. What do
mhm,
we want people to know? What's the communication between who this character is and what the character is? Even people don't realize this, but you went through a name change before the book came out. It was
mhm,
Moon. It was Moon and Maru,
mhm,
and
mhm, yep.
a big discussion about that and how
And it was a
what.
hard discussion, because I'm stubborn. I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
no,
yeah, it
it's
was
supposed to be
hard
Moon
though.
of Maroon. And what you helped me appreciate, though, was that it's not changing the story. It's just changing the way people, for the first interaction with the story.
Yeah,
And then changing it to Luna worked. It worked, because we were successful with our, crowd, what's it
yeah. The
called,
crowdfunding
Kickstarter.
was
We
dope,
were successful. So
and
it's even little things like that.
it's dope because I think my mindset behind that was I wanted people to remember the character, not the overall story. Right, Moon and Maru was kind of explaining the whole, like everything, but
Yeah.
it was about Luna. You know what I mean? I didn't want the fans to get lost in that. And I think me and you talked about that, how saying Moon and Maru was the perfect novel. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But for comic book, let's make it
Hmm.
just about her and
Yeah.
go with that story. And
Yeah.
ultimately, those were some tough conversations, y'all. I will
Hmm.
say they were tough.
And it was
But
a conversation, I think, in the second book, or the first. I think it was the second book, I think. And Montrez, the editor at the time, I'm assuming she's still the editor, but she was the editor at the time.
mhm.
And she was like, we got to take this scene out. And I was like, no, we got to keep this scene. This is what everyone wants. And then she didn't convince me. My line editor didn't convince me, and it was you that convinced me. Like, listen, I've sold X amount of books. I know what works and I know what sells. And that's what I listened to. I still didn't agree, but I listened to the fact that the money was talking. And that's what I think indie creators, some indie creators have learned to do very well. They listen to what is going to sell well. It may not necessarily be what you envisioned, but what it will sell well. And you were right. The cutting it out off at a certain point now leaves the third book to allow her to um, truly develop her power in a more relatable way, not realistically, but relatable way. So I learned a lot. I did, and even now as I approach my other stories, I'm like, okay, how does this read? And will it sell? Will this be want? Will this make people want to buy the next book? Or am I telling the whole story in 30 pages? You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people, a lot of writers got to learn that too, right? It's not, if we were just writing what we wanted to write, that book would be 100 pages easily. Easily, right? But you really got to think as a consumer and how to keep your people coming back. Because if you're giving everything in that one issue, why am I coming back for the next one? You know what I'm saying? Why? And then why am I going further? Because you already explained everything right here. So I think like that's the science of it, and having the mental capacity to put your mind from a creator to a business person in the same breath is very difficult to do.
Right.
So this being your first book, your first go around with Luna 1, Luna 2, you did exceptional with it. With just being receptive to the unknown, because there was a lot of things I couldn't explain to you because you wouldn't experience it until you got there. You know what I mean? Like what a Kickstarter's like, or like what a review is going to be like, what people are going to say about the book or the character, the design, or how they're going to perceive it. So the whole preparation of that was just trying to build ourselves such a fence where no matter what people said, we were still going to be moving forward and nothing could damage the product. You know what I mean?
And I think that was really surprising is how invested people are in your story enough to do a whole 60-minute review of it. I'm like, and at first I was like, oh, this is odd. I've never, because I'm not, I love the stories I'm invested in. I love them, and but I don't really have time to do a whole full-fledged review. But people who didn't like the story, love the story, they were so invested because that might have been their channel, that might be their hobby to review. They were invested, and negative or positive, I saw it as a win because this story made you stop and talk about it for 60 minutes.
Yeah, a whole
like
60 minutes.
I really did something. So that I just take it as a win when people take the time, even if it's negative, to take the time to review what I've written. And I just hope that continues.
Oh no, that's dope. It's definitely going to continue, and that's why we're moving on to the next subject, man. Because you definitely had a journey here at Konkret. You done broke down some walls, got nominated a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? And it was a glorious road. I even seen you do a Comic-Con by yourself. So right before we move on, how was that? How was doing your first Comic-Con table by yourself? Like, what was that experience like? Because I remember I called you during that time too, and I was like, "Hey man, how's it going? How's the table set up?"
Yeah. So I think when you do your first Comic-Con by yourself, definitely make sure you have your friends like critique your table who've done Comic-Cons, because they can tell you what doesn't look right, what will draw, move this up to the front, move that to the back. And that's what you did. I took a picture of the table and sent it to you, and you called me and said, move that. I want you to bring that to the front, do this, do that. So and my husband was there with me, helping me with the money. My son kept us hydrated, made sure my fans stayed charged. So it was a family affair. I wasn't, by myself, but I was by myself vending. And also at Comic Cons, you network, obviously, but also you learn how to talk about your story, because some indie creators haven't gotten a chance to talk about their story in like a one sentence or less. So you know, that was something you told me to do. Make sure you have your pitch. And it should be 2 seconds, 2 seconds, two sentences,
Yeah,
and people should smile at the end of it. And so
yeah,
I
yeah.
think my pitch was X-Men meets Game of Thrones. But oh no, X-Men meets a family friendly version of Game of Thrones. And then
Yeah.
people instantly knew it was drama and royalty. You know, they instantly were like,
Hmm.
okay, I like that. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
having a good pitch is great. And I remember, because I remember calling you, and we like quickly went over all of that: table setup, pitch, and what to do, like just how to network. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think I talked to you about talking to your neighbors at the table,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
introducing yourself,
Yeah, so they
because
can look out for your stuff when you leave, and
exactly. It was so
um,
many
yeah.
things, and it's funny because, like, kind of like I was saying, there's a lot of things that you were going to experience that I couldn't tell you in the beginning of your journey. These are things you're going to see when you get out there, when you're in
Mhm.
the field, and you're going to make those adjustments. And you did that perfectly. You made the right adjustments when you needed to, and you just been growing ever since. So, with that being said, man, shout out to your journey, and
Thank you.
let's talk about Black Girl Comics, though. You know what I mean? What is Black Girl Comics? Why is Black Girl Comics? And what are we gonna get from this imprint?
So Black Girl Comics is going to focus on brown and black women as the center of the story. Like Luna, um, you know, I have my fan fiction is going to be based off an Afro Latino girl who falls in love with a Yautja. That is going to be
Mm,
my fanfic. And then I have a another story called 6 Inch. I haven't decided if she's going to be a nurse or actual spy, but she's a black woman who also is going to be the center of her story. And I, you know, I love to layer brown and black girls with romance and like just something wow that they're fighting against. So I just those are the like my favorite elements in the story.
mm-hmm.
And so and then I have a story, and then I have two stories with two other companies. One is called Juna. She's a black woman. I was invited to write for her from Summit Comics, and then I was invited to
Super
write
dope.
for another black woman. Her name is Asira with Freestyle Comics. So I just really I'm grateful because I've only have two books released, but people saw that I hopefully can tell a good story. I can tell a good story. So I feel like that's why I was invited.
Oh, it's
But I
dope.
just
It's dope being invited too.
yeah.
So,
So Luna one and two will be re-released on the Black Girl Comics, and then Luna 3 is new. That will be released in May. And I'm hope my artist Ian, he's busy with an animated movie, so he's not available this year. But I did find a similar artist that works well for my budget. So we're gonna I'm hopefully getting 4 and 5 done this year. Hopefully to be at least 4 released.
that's
So the Black Girl Comics
fire.
basically centers brown and black women, but we're not enslaved. We're not struggling.
Hmm.
And if we are struggling, that's a part of the story. That's not like our foundation. That's not who we are. Is the
Yeah.
struggle. It happens in the story, but they come back. You know,
Hmm.
and it's not. I'm not doing anything unique. There's other black women. There's other women who center the brown and black experience. So I'm just one of the many one of the probably not many, but one of the few that are doing it.
Future
Um,
mini. Future mini. Okay, a lot more about to pop out now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and I do see that. I see a lot of
Hmm.
black women, you know, promote coming out with their comic books, promoting their stuff, and I love to see it.
Yeah, nah, you've been doing amazing with the branding, and the marketing. I'm excited to see what's going on. I'm excited for that Luna 3, man. You know what I'm saying? If you need an extra set of eyes on something, you know what I mean? I'm here. I'm always here. So let me
I'm
know.
gonna take you up on that when I get it lettered.
Oh yeah.
I usually have someone else look at it because you know your eyes are so used to reading it, it misses stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll send it to you.
No,
I'll
yeah,
send it
no,
to you.
send it through. And I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it all the way concrete with you for sure. So just let me know. I would love to. I would love to get a early sneak peek at that story, because I
Mhm.
love the process. I love the fantasy elements of Luna, was very different from what I'm used to publishing. You know what I'm saying? But it blended in with our audience very well. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, I think just right now with the way you've been moving and the proper introduction, the proper rollout, it's going to be a hit. And especially people that don't know you, they're getting a nice serving. It ain't one issue; they're getting three. So when
Mm-hmm.
you get three issues for somebody brand new, they're gonna be like, "All right, I'll take the whole thing." You know what I mean? I need all
Yeah.
that. I need
Yeah.
all that, and I'm gonna dive in. So
Yeah. I
we
hope that's the
gotta.
case. I hope people buy all three. Like, I forgot how this goes, and I don't know where I would put my Luna One, so I'm gonna buy it all again. That's what I want people to do.
So we got a couple comments. Harold Pete said, "Truth being spoken," and you know that, man. My boy Thad, one of the newest creators of Concrete Comics in the building, Solar the Sovereign. He's saying big Luna fan. That's dope. That's dope.
Thank you.
We got Kingdom Comics said one of
Oh,
the dopest writers in the game.
I
What we
appreciate
doing?
that. I
What we
appreciate it.
doing
I
here,
hope y'all gonna
Karla?
see a lot more. You're gonna see a
It's
lot
not
more.
the quantity, it's the quality. You make the quality books. That's what we talking about, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Then we
you.
got the podcast in here stomping the yard, That's what it is. No, that's dope. So Black Girl Comics is hold on, I gotta move that comment. My bad. So Black
Let
Girl
me let me
Comics,
just grab my lip gloss. My lips are a little ashy. I'll be right back.
do your thing, Queen. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all definitely gotta check out Black Girl Comics. They are on the rise,
Yeah.
they are moving.
Yeah,
And
I'm
they are
working on my
making
I found a website that works really well with my skills. Because a lot, even Shopify is really clunky for me. I just don't know how to
Shopify
use
can be a
it.
little clunky. I think it
Um,
really relies on what type of website do you want. You know what I mean? Are you just trying to
yeah,
straight to the point sell the products, or you
yeah,
want a little bit of an
yeah.
experience? You know what I'm saying?
I found one that I really like, so I'm working on that one. Those who are part of my Patreon are following my journey. So I do have a Patreon, Black Girl Comics Patreon. You
Black
can
Girl
go to
Comics
Black Girl
Patreon.
Comics.
Hmm.
Let me put it in the chat. You can go to Black
I,
Girl Comics
I do
IG.
have your link tree in the bio of this video too. So
Okay.
for those of you that
Cool.
are looking, I got the link where it says you can stay in touch with Karla. It got
Mm-hmm.
her whole link tree in there, so y'all can find out. But yeah, please do
Yeah.
drop it in the chat. Let me see. Where is
It's,
that? It's in there.
but if you go to my IG page, then you'll see the link
Black Girl
for the
Comics IG.
Patreon.
Hmm.
If even if you want to join as a free member, you can stay up to date on everything that I'm doing Black Girl Comics
Yeah, yeah.
and see, sneak peeks. And also I will be, for the paid tiers, I will be writing exclusive content, and that content is the mature content
Ooh.
for my fan fiction. So
Y'all heard that, man?
I'm not gonna put that on Instagram.
Hey,
But
listen, that's dope
I
though.
am gonna write mature content because we're all grown. We're all grown. We know what it is,
We
and
all
I
grown
think
in
that
here.
in order to deepen the lore, I really want to go there with that. So, yeah, just you can join my Patreon as a free member and just stay updated. I know Harold Pete is a paying member. I appreciated his
That's
contribution
dope.
every month. And those contributions go towards the cover, goes toward paying the letterer.
Hmm.
So like I cashed out, um, and some of that went towards a letterer. So your donations every month, or your subscription membership every month, is paying for real things that I'm able to incorporate into the production of the book. So, and plus you'll have exclusive content if you are a paid member eventually with the fan fiction I'm creating
No,
with
that's dope.
another artist. So
I'm gonna shout out your Patreon on our page too. I think the Patreon. I think you can do like a share another Patreon on your Patreon. So I'll make sure to tag your Patreon on there
thank
as
you.
someone that you may want to follow.
Thank
Um,
you.
no, that's awesome. And yeah, for that website stuff. Once again, Karla, if you need a set of eyes, I'm here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
will. I'm gonna
Let
send
me
it.
know.
I am. I'm gonna send it to you. So when
Let me
they
know.
um
Got you.
the letterer is working on it now, and so when it's done, I'm just gonna send you it before I even look at it.
Hmm.
Um and
Karla,
then
if
we
you could
can.
collaborate with any comic book artist or even with another writer, who would it be?
Oh, that's the easy answer. So me and Tosh from Midnight Comics, they just had a successful raising like $12,000 on their Kickstarter for their
Hmm.
omnibus. me and Tosh have a story that we're planning on writing. I told her after my surgery and I've recovered, we'll start writing on it. But the title is called My Sister is a Dragon. So it's going to be um, manga inspired. I'm not sure if it's going to be actual manga or just kind of some elements from manga, meaning art style and things like that. But we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. And I think that is something that is very much needed in this space because we don't really see Black girls and dragons a lot.
Yeah.
If we do, it might be in the form of a novel. And so I haven't really seen it in the
Hmm.
form of comics. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means that I just need to get out more.
Yeah.
But that's something that we're working on, and most likely it will be, a full blown graphic novel, so we can just tell the story. And hopefully, we want to shop it around. We want to shop it around and maybe even get adapted. So, but it's a coming of age story for teenagers and children. So we're looking forward to it.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome, and yeah, shout out to Lloyd and Toshman. That comics,
Mhm.
they doing amazing things. Successful Kickstarter. Shout out to all my previous guests too. I had Stranger Comics on. I had Stephanie on before that. I had my girl with her book. What's it called? Fumes. She was on
Mhm.
here. So no, shout out to
Yeah.
everybody that's just working right now. It's been such
Mhm.
a glorious 2026.
I
Should I
love
say?
it. I
Like,
love, and everybody is blossoming in their own lane at their own time. You know what I mean? Like I finally bought her two Stephanie's trade for
mm-hmm,
Temporal, and I got the rest of the Roots of Madness books because I love Stephanie. I think she's one of the greatest writers right now because she's so versatile.
mm-hmm.
And she can capture anybody's voice. I just love her work. And then Stranger Comics, I think he just got something. He has a production. His
He's
one of
on a
his stories is
Kickstarter
in
right now
production.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
he's
think
doing something with Viola Davis. She's adapting his project, and his Kickstarter is like 90K right now. So
he always
these
does well
cats
though. I
these
ain't
cats are doing
surprised.
amazing.
I
Nah,
ain't
but
surprised.
it's just dope. Hey, real quick, everybody on the YouTube right now on the Aurora Podcast YouTube and the Concrete Comics YouTube. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to all the channels because we're gonna be doing this, John, every so often. Carla, I might bring you on as a guest host if you want to. You know what I mean? Let me know. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
I think when I'm promoting by Lunar 3, I'll be on here.
oh yeah, no, for sure. And
And
then
it's just
speaking of
Tuesdays. You do Tuesdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, I'll do a Tuesday.
On Thursday, this Thursday, I got Wiseacre coming on, so that should be
Mhm.
dope. And then next week, I think I got Ty and Greg Elise, so that should be dope too. So you know what I'm saying? I'm running through the gauntlet. You know what I mean, I'm getting everybody's voice gonna be heard on this platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
and I'm glad.
as
I know you took a break for a while, but I'm glad to see it back up. It's hard, and it's hard to keep up a podcast. It is.
oh, it's
It's hard.
tough. It's tough. 2025 was a pretty rough year for everybody. I think like
Mhm.
everybody was like just getting it out the mud in 2025, like for real. Like 2025 was just a dreary behind year. Like I don't know what it was, but I feel like everybody's like coming out of the cocoons right now, and they're like, man, f all
It
that.
was. It
You know what I'm
was.
saying?
And I think it not necessarily, it may not have anything to do with your creative going on, but I think health wise, like for me, that's when I really
Yeah.
started to feel okay, something's not right. And I have an autoimmune disorder, Graves' disease, and I've had it for I was being diagnosed with it for 2 years. So last year was when I really hit a peak and like it was like I had no energy.
Hmm.
Um, in my surgery, I'll be taking out my thyroid because it's not serving me at all anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm a little, I know it's gonna go well, but when somebody's opening up your body and taking something out,
It's gonna go well. It's
it's
gonna
like,
go well
oh
because
goodness.
God watching over you. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? God
I
watching over
believe
all
that.
that. So
I
it's
believe it.
definitely gonna go good. And chat, drop them thumbs up, drop them prayer hands in the comments, man. You know what I'm
Give them to
saying?
me. Give them to
Drop them
me
things.
and send them up. Give them to
So,
me.
as we're moving on, so we just talked about Black Girl Comics, right? So you kind of just jumping through all kinds of rings of fire. First, you jumped out there to make your own comic book with Concrete. You jumped out there to be a publisher. I'm saying, and now you jump through another ring of fire.
Yeah.
You're starting your own award ceremony.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Zelda Awards. Why did you create this, and what do you want to come from this years down the road?
Um, so I wanted to give women, especially, but any creator who feels who identifies on the female spectrum, or even non-binary, trans people who don't normally get nominated for the comic book awards. And there are, I think, three major comic book awards: the Eisners, the Ringos, and I believe the Harvey Awards, I believe. And then there's, maybe dozens of indie awards. But again, I don't see a huge representation when it comes to women. And there are a lot of women writing comics. Like, we got over 150 names, different names, when we were asking for people to submit their choices for the nominees. And that's just who follows the IG page. Like, this doesn't even, this is not even people who aren't on IG, or people from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is for this to be as big as the Eisners, for it to have the same weight as the Eisners. And I just applied for nonprofit status, so I'm hoping that it'll get approved. And once I become a nonprofit, I feel like the sky's the limit. That opens us up to grants, which in turn can be given to the winners to further their work. And I just want I want the Zelda Awards to be seen as, a platform where women will be celebrated. And what I'm really excited about is the reception that I've gotten from not only the sponsors, but just some of the people that have followed the page. And I've reached out to them like, hey, would you like to do a special message? For example, Yatide from American Gods, she started following the page. I was like, let me message her and see what she's doing. And she will be a special guest at the show. I wanted to show the picture, but how do you do it? You see it?
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Let's
run through it. So we got a couple joints.
Okay, so this is
live here.
So the show will be this Saturday, April 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Head over to the Aurora Comics Podcast YouTube channel and get notified. So you'll get like a little message when we go live. So that's how you watch it. You can watch it from your phone, your computer, or TV. If you got YouTube on your TV, you can watch it from your TV. So the next, what you got next there? Okay, so Angelique Roche. Everybody knows, if you know anything about comics, you know who Angelique is. Last year she wrote for Storm, a one shot for Storm. She just released another book. Oh my gosh, I forgot what the book was called, but she just released another book. And she did the Marvel podcast, the Women of Marvel podcast, for years. So she is an authority in my mind. So we had her on the pod last season. I reached out to her again. I said, hey, would you love to host? She said absolutely yes. That's a privilege of having her on, leading the show on Saturday.
That is awesome.
I've also asked a few other women to make special appearances. So Lane Morgan, she was a TV writer for Legacies, CW Legacies, and she did a short run of Star Trek. One of the many books of Star Trek. So Lane Morgan will make a special appearance. And who's your next one?
Hold on. Have a couple comments in there too.
Okay.
So you got Black Lady Comic Pros leading the way.
Yes.
She's in the building, y'all.
Hey, girl.
She said, "Love me."
She was M Shy. She is M Shy Dash is one of the nominees. One of the nominees.
Amazing.
Tuning in on Saturday.
I had a great time talking to her a few weeks ago. Amazing.
Karma. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. That's the Blur Girl. She is another authority in the comic book space. You see her doing interviews, and she wrote a book for Marvel about the Dora Milaje. So she graciously also will be make a special appearance as well.
Mm-hmm. And last
And
but
then
not
Miss
least,
Yatide, who she's one of my choices for Storm too. So this if she becomes the next Storm, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh. But I sent her a message like, hey, thank you so much for supporting the show, supporting the page, and
mm-hmm.
and I was like, would you mind saying a few words, to celebrate the winners? And so she was like, oh, sure. And she is so down to earth, so kind, so humble. And she was the first one to actually, like respond. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl is amazing. And
Yeah,
everybody who's had interactions with her, they have nothing but good things to say. So I'm just really excited that these women have taken the time to volunteer their time to just make it a really memorable event.
experience. Oh yeah, no, that's amazing that you were able to get these people. Especially this is your first year award ceremony. This is
Yeah.
tough. This is tough to do because you got to do it right. Like it's so many things in this thing. Like you want to make sure you're giving the right award, you're using the right language and communication, and because
And
one
I
thing
mean,
can ruin
I'm not
somebody's
doing it by
week.
myself. I'm not doing it by myself. I have a really
Mhm.
great committee who's helping me. I don't want to take all the credit.
Oh yeah, no. Shout out to the committee for sure.
Mm.
Shout out to everybody that's involved because this is tough. But what the groundwork you guys are laying right now is going to last for a really long time, and this is going to be a great extension to the comic book industry because it's needed. There's something that's needed, something that something that the public's been missing, and I don't even think they know they've been missing it. And I think that's the dope thing.
Yeah, they
That's
don't know. I mean, even you see some of the on Facebook, I call them out now when you have a list of favorite comic book writers and not nan one of them, except for Stephanie, is a woman. And I'm like, you have 20 writers on here and you only have one woman? What is this? It's no excuse anymore. I mean, you can't say you have 20 favorite writers and 19 of them are men, because that tells me that you don't intentionally seek out stories written by women, because some of the women write better than the men. I'm not saying
uh,
that, all women write
shots
better than men,
fired.
but I've read some stories. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
amazing, you know?
no, that's fire. So we got a question here for you.
No rush, because being able to watch from home. Oh, I would love that. I would love to. I mean, I think I'm aiming for Awesome Con to be the in-person event,
Awesome Con is
but
dope. That's a little
yeah,
local for you.
local,
Have you
because I
have you
live in
thought about
DMV.
have you thought about Blurred Con or even I think Baltimore Comic Con would be a really good one for you too.
But they do the Ringos Awards.
Oh really?
Yeah, that they
Oh,
do the
okay.
Ringo. I think that's the ones because they host. I think it's the Ringos. But I
Yeah.
eventually, I think my main goal is to get approved for the nonprofit, and then start getting sponsorships, and funding this event. And when people see, when events see, oh wow, you got, this person, this company donating to you, this celebrity, speaking out, I think
Yeah.
this is something here. So I don't know when that'll happen, but I'm hoping it will happen, within the next 5 years, to be an in-person event, and then stay an in-person event.
That's fire. I definitely see it happening for sure. So what legacy do you want to leave, Carla? When it's all said and done, if you were to stop writing comics today, what do you
I
want people
want
to
I want my son to see, how much fun it is to write and to create. Him being biracial, he's, he got kind of got two things going against him. He not only is Hispanic, but he's also Black.
hmm
So he's going to have some struggles, but I want him to be able to create, whether it be music or voice acting, writing, whatever it may be. I want him to know that the arts is something that he can always find, and it can find him. And I want him to express himself through the art. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, I want people to remember, if I for some reason passed away tonight, I want people to remember that I wanted to elevate women. in any way I possibly could. So whether it be through my stories or through the Zelda Awards, I want people to know she really gave women a platform. She elevated women, especially in these times that we're living in. It's so important to
Hmm.
just honor women and celebrate women. So that's really what the legacy I want to leave. Of course, I would love to make money doing it, profiting, not just make money, but profiting from it. I would
Yeah.
love to do that. But those are the two things I really want to really leave. And I think lastly, which I always, I've prayed to God about this, but I want also my work to be reflective of God and what I'm not saying Luna is not a going to church story. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the principles of love and peace, honor, kindness, forgiveness. Those principles that God teaches us about, whether you believe in God or another force, um, I want that to be reflective in my work as well. So
That's amazing. I think you're well on that way for sure.
thank you.
Everything you've been doing, everything you stand for, how you move, how you communicate yourself, you know, no one's confused in what your mission is. So I think that's dope that you're able to really not only let your art speak for yourself, but like you speak for yourself too. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
some people rely on their art to do the talking, but you do both, and I think that's very powerful. A lot of people aren't brave enough to just put their whole heart out there on their sleeve and let people see it. You know what I mean? So
Thank you.
I'm definitely just super. It's super glorious to watch your
Thank
journey and just how you've been. Now you know you made it to a special segment of the show, right? Right before we close out of here.
you. Oh, what's going on?
Are you prepared for it? Okay.
Okay.
I haven't got no music yet for it, but you made it to my favorite section. It's called
Okay.
Top Three. Right. So we got top three, right? So where I'm gonna hit you with some questions, and you gotta name your top three off the top of the dome. And you can't cheat. Don't be using no Google. None of that. You
Okay.
just gotta be like, "This is my top three," right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So we're gonna hit you with this. I I was a little generous today because I know you cut from the cloth like I am. So let's do it. Top three R&B records, 90s.
90s. Oh, week. Um, I cry for you and understanding.
Oh, see, off the top of the dome with it.
Mm.
Off the top of the dome. You know what? You know what? I got a sub question to this.
Uh,
Top three 90s movie soundtracks.
Boomerang.
Mm.
Was Boomerang in 90s? Um,
Save the last dance.
Can I do early 2000s? Like
Nope, 90s. It gotta be
90s.
90s.
I'm a
Mm.
teenager. I was a teenager. Okay, I would say
It was some
Boomerang.
good Jones
Waiting to
back then.
Exhale was, I think, in the 90s. I believe so. Um, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
I
Kombat had the banger. Mortal Kombat had that
had
one.
my dance troupe did a dance to that.
I ain't gonna lie. You know what one of my favorite soundtracks was in the 90s? Was
Uh,
the Nutty Professor.
oh
The Nutty
yeah, yeah,
Professor Joan
hmm
was dope.
yeah.
And
In it.
yeah, that one was dope. And what was the movie? The one with Jet Li and Aaliyah. But is that the 90s or
Mm-hmm.
is that early 2000s? I can't remember.
So I
I want
remember.
to say it's 90s, ain't it?
No, I was in college when that movie came out because I remember that her and DMX did that song. Was it her and DMX did that song together? And she had
Dun,
this
dun,
red
dun,
lipstick on.
dun, 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 dun,
And
dun,
my
dun, dun.
boyfriend at the time was like, why don't you, this is why I knew I was going to break up with her. Why don't you wear that red lipstick that Aaliyah wears? And that's the only reason why I know that came out like 2000, like 2000, maybe 1999, but it was like 2000, 2001 when that movie came out. I could be wrong, but I remember I was in college when my boyfriend said that to me. And I was like,
I enjoyed that joint a lot. So
Romeo
we
must die.
so we
Romeo.
got some comments in there.
Oh, the
Hold on, who we got?
bodyguard.
The
Oh my
Bodyguard,
God.
Whitney
Yes.
Houston. Oh yeah, The Bodyguard was
Yep.
definitely a
Mm-hmm.
crazy soundtrack. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I ain't gonna lie. I think like The Best Man was a good soundtrack too.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch that movie when it came out.
Oh yeah,
Not too late. When I was later, I mean, I was a teenager. I was in high school.
we were
Some of
still
these
listening
stories,
to
some of
them.
these
We were still
shows,
listening to them joints.
some of these, yeah. I mean, all of those. Waiting to Exhale, Wild Wild West. We did a.
Wild
I
Wild
did a
West
dance
was a
to. I did
banger.
a dance to that one too.
Wild Wild West was definitely a banger.
Bad Boys soundtrack. Oh, I didn't watch
Who
Bad
we
Boys
got?
because I was
We got my boy
a little bit
Deja
older.
Vu in here. Best Man, Waiting to Exhale, Wild Wild West for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Who we got? Romeo Must Die. Yeah, yeah. Romeo
Yeah,
Must Die is a
that was
classic, y'all.
yeah.
But it was early 2000s. But I might be tripping.
Yeah,
I
that I
apologize.
was in college when because I remember my boyfriend said, "Why don't you get that red lipstick?" And I at the time I don't think I looked good in red lipstick, so I was like, "I'm not
Bad
getting
Boy soundtrack was dope. Hey, I know that this came out in 2000, but Baby Boy soundtrack was fire too.
baby
I
boy."
ain't gonna lie.
With Tyrese.
Yep, Baby
Yeah,
Boy. Well, black back then they was calling him Black Tie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
when he
the
wasn't
Men in
bashing
Black.
black women.
Listen, shout out. Yeah. So let me see. Okay, so our next top three for you. 90s
Oh,
sitcoms.
that's easy. Martin, Living Single, and I think the early
Mhm.
'90s when A Different World went off the air.
All right, I'm gonna ask you another
Living
question.
Color.
White 90s sitcoms. So let me do that. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Hmm. Let's talk
White
about it.
90s, not white 90s.
White 90s sitcom. Come on, there's some bangers
I
out
didn't
there.
watch
Don't do that.
I didn't
Don't do
watch white
that. There was
90s
some
sitcoms.
bangers out there in the 90s, y'all. Chat, help her out, man. White 90s sitcom shows.
Who was acting then? I don't know any white people
There
that
was
was
some
acting in the
bangers out
90s.
there. You got to
Family
think
Matters.
about.
That's a white.
Now, Family Matters.
Oh,
Is
that's
a
the
black
black. Oh yeah,
family.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
black family.
Full House. Full House was in the
Okay,
90s. I did
okay.
watch Full House.
Would you consider Saved by the Bell a
Oh
90s
yeah, Saved by the
sitcom?
Bell. I do. Yep, I was watching Saved by the Bell.
Let's talk about it.
Um,
What else we
uh,
got? There's a bunch. Hold on, man. We got the chat popping.
Boy
Hold
Meets
on.
World. That was the 2000s. I
We got
like the Step by Step. I did watch Step by Step. I did watch that.
my
Yep, I
man.
watched Step by Step. I watched Boy Meets World. But I thought those were the early 2000s.
No, Boy Meets World was definitely in
The
the
90s.
early 90s for
Mm.
sure. Saved by the Bell was
Perfect
definitely
Strangers
there.
was cool
Hey, I
time.
don't see y'all dropping three though. I only see two. I
Frasier,
need two.
Friends.
Jari, I
Oh,
need two.
Friends. Friends was in the 90s.
Yeah,
But I
Friends
didn't
was
watch
definitely
Friends when
out
it
there.
came out.
Friends
I
was
didn't watch
heavy.
Friends until it came on like
Full House, Step
syndication.
by Step, Boy Meets World. See, Boy Meets World was in a lot of people's tops.
That's
Fraser,
because Topanga was on
man
there.
got
Y'all was looking
Fraser.
at Topanga.
Homeboy got Fraser
I
on
was
there.
looking
All
at
right.
that the white girl Topanga. Look at
I'm
she was
surprised that nobody say my man Married with Children. Married with Children was
oh yeah,
out
Married
that
with
time
Children was
too.
yeah. I just
Had,
I maybe I just
had a
when you
little
talk about
Roseanne in
your
there.
childhood,
You
you
know
think
what I'm
about
saying?
your black sitcoms. When for me, I Loving
Oh
Single,
yeah.
Different World,
Tool
and
time.
Martin
Tool,
defined
Tool time
my
out for sure. Classic.
childhood.
Who we got? Who
Seinfeld, I
we got?
never could get with
Oh,
Seinfeld. I
Seinfeld,
never could get with.
Seinfeld was one of them.
I
Seinfeld was
couldn't.
one of them. Don't do that.
I
Who
just
else we got? Who else we got in here? Home Improvement for sure.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah, it's
I
back.
couldn't get with Home Improvement. The only thing I did like him in Toy Story. I did like him in that, but I
Home
never
Improvement was pretty good.
I never
At that
watched
at
the
that time, my man Tim Allen started going crazy. He dropped the Santa Claus movies. He started getting
mhm.
a lot of movies, and then I think he turned into a drunk or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know what
I don't know
happened
what
after
happened
that.
either. Yeah, I don't know what
So
happened.
something happened with him right after he played Santa Claus. It got over with. But so my last top three for you, which
Mhm.
is, and I want you to dig deep too. Don't give me no surface level like everyone's pick. I need some picks that's gonna have people like, oh, she went in the cloth with it. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Top three MCU moments.
Oh,
Don't do top of the.
okay. Not the ones
Okay.
everybody picks.
Yes,
Okay.
I need some moments that
MCU
people be like,
moment. Um. So I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I just rewatched that movie over the past 2 days. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, when Peter and Gamora was like first starting to like each other, and he put the music on her ears,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like this, and then all of a sudden she pulled out the knife.
That's the moment
It
right
was
there.
like,
See, I like that.
I'm not gonna, you're not gonna tip me with your pelvic wiles or whatever it was. And that is her. I loved her portrayal of Gamora. I love Gamora throughout the whole, you know, um, in game up to in game and everything. So
See,
that I guess that
I
was
never
one of
heard
my
nobody
favorite
pick
ones.
that moment. I like that. I
Yeah,
never heard
that
that
because
moment
I
picked.
love I love brown and black women in romance. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And he alien and human, well, somewhat of a human. That's my thing. Um, let's see, MCU moments. Not the ones everybody else picks. Because my top one is that
Mm-hmm.
scene.
I know.
Um,
I know. And you can't use it.
I know I can't.
So.
So I'm gonna forget Endgame. Let's go to Black Panther. I liked when they were chasing whomever they were chasing on the cars. I like that because I
Mm.
never seen it done in that way. And I love the way Ryan Coogler and whoever else was involved in that film, how they integrated the futuristic tech with the things we can relate to, like fast, high speed chases. It just added a different element to it. And then when everything kind of broke, she was sliding in the road. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was cute.
I
um
ain't gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say when she flipped the wig off was like that thing up out of
that
there.
you told me I couldn't choose the stuff that
Well,
most people
see,
pick.
that one was good because I never heard no one say that either, unless they were really of the cloth, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
I love how well, a lot of people say Marvel is not relatable, but I beg to differ. I think they took relatable situations and then added the alien element, or
Hmm.
the superpower element, and I could relate to it.
Oh yeah,
The third one,
let's go. Dig deep, dig
I
deep.
like the Shang-Chi. Okay, I have two. It's a tie. So I like Shang-Chi. I like the whole movie. And I loved how raw it was for him to be fighting his father. Because how can a lot of
Mm.
us can relate to not getting along with one of our parents, and then add the element of a dragon to it? Are you kidding me?
Hmm.
That movie was I hope they come up with a second movie for him. And then the entire a lot of people didn't like this show, but I love the show because of the duality. Um, Samuel L. Jackson's show. What
Samuel
was it?
Jackson's show was
Um,
fire. Secret
I thought it
Invasion.
was, what was it called?
It was called Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
I loved it.
I
I
loved it
absolutely loved that.
because, and I did a whole live on this. When I do a live, it's because I really mean something. So I like the fact that it was this black man who, on one hand, was trying to, was tasked to save this whole race of people,
Hmm.
this whole species of people, and then at the same time dealing with his obligations at home with whatever he was working for, not working for, because I know shit wasn't a thing anymore. So it was just a dual, and then add the element of constantly having being disguised and not being able to show your your true self. That to me was a beautiful dedication to the black man. People can argue all day long with me, but that's how I felt about it, and that's why I loved it so much. So though I guess those were the kind of the moments that I'm like, oh, this is why I love Marvel so much. This is why, because it's so relatable, and people didn't just miss the point. Whoever didn't like that show, they missed the point. But that's what, for me, what it stood for is it was a beautiful dedication to the black man and what he has to go through every day of his life. So those are my second top moments. Can I tell you what my favorite scene of the whole thing is though?
Yes, please.
When Cat picked up the hammer.
Mm. Oh yeah, no. Cat picking up the hammer was
That's
fire.
my top
Cat picking up the
favorite
hammer was
scene
definitely
of
fire.
all time, beating out Black Panther of all time. That's my favorite scene because the build up to that, with Ultron, and then him telling, he finally told Tony the truth about the Winter Soldier. It was to me is storytelling. That is storytelling.
So I think one of my favorites was one of my favorite scenes, right? Was when was in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness when
Mm-hmm.
Wanda when he was talking to Wanda the first time and then she flipped it and showed where she really was.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I don't think that's fair, right? That was
And
gangster.
then she was like, "This
That
is
was
me being
gangster.
reasonable. This is," and she was right.
She said, "Me
She
sending
said,
that
"This is
monster
me
was
being
me
reasonable."
being reasonable. Next time it's
Yes,
gonna be
that
me."
line,
That was gangster.
that line, yeah,
That was gangster. That John, obviously, Black Panther Never Freeze, one of my favorites, because then he dropped out the ship all gloriously like that. That was fire. And
hmm
I think when Thor came back from that star after he got blasted by that star and he had the
hmm
new hammer and he dropped
mm
down to Wakanda, said,
hmm
"Bring me Thanos."
hmm
That was fire.
yeah,
All that
yeah.
was glorious. So yeah, yeah.
All
Shout
relatable.
out to all
All
that.
It was all relatable. You know, you make mistakes and
Ooh.
you beat yourself up about it. It's crazy.
Vision's
Vision's
interest
interest in
was
April.
glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Vision,
Yeah,
Monica Rambeau is my baby. Monica Rambeau,
yeah.
is my baby for sure.
I hope we see more of her. I think we will because the end of Marvels, she went into a whole different dimension.
She did. I'm excited. I think
Mm,
she gonna tie directly into this whole Doctor Doom stuff for sure. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And since we saw Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I
dope.
can't wait to see him again. He's gonna bring so much. People were mad when they announced him, but I was happy. I was like, "Oh, good, he's coming back." Because I loved him. I love him as an actor. He
Nah,
brings
he's
so much
dope.
nuance to each role. I mean, every performance he had throughout, through all those movies, he if he wasn't in there, it wasn't the same.
I will say too. Yeah, I was about to say something. I forgot. Oh yeah, for those that aren't watching, y'all gotta watch that Daredevil show, man. That joint is so fire. Um, the with
Oh yeah,
Kingpin being the mayor and everything like that,
hmm
it's
yeah, we
dope.
love
It's
that show
violent.
too.
It's gritty. It's street. If you like street tier characters, Daredevil is
Yeah.
literally number one. You know what I'm
Wonder
saying?
Man is a little bit more family friendly,
I
but that
love
Wonder
Wonder Man. Too.
I'm really liking like Echo. I'm really liking these they call it character
Hmm.
driven stories where you just focus on the personality and what they're
Yeah.
going through, and you don't the powers come later.
Yeah.
This is who they are, and then they just happen to have powers, and I like that approach as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think what Marvel is doing with their shows is brilliant because that's world building 101. They're not just focused on the story, like big, exciting stuff. Like people that watch Wonder Man may have been waiting for some big old fight, but it wasn't that. Like you
hmm
got to know the person and who he
hmm
was, and to me, that's genius. That's world building. Because now when we see him again, we feel like we know who he is,
hmm
what he's about, and what he fears, and what he's been holding back. We know his family, his brother hating on him. We know all that stuff now. You know what I mean?
hmm
So yeah, shout out to Marvel, man.
Yeah.
But as we wrap down, as we get up out of here, message to your fans and supporters, Miss Medrano.
Just keep, just continue to uplift the women and those who may identify differently. Keep uplifting them and celebrating and promoting their work, because even though there are a lot of us, we don't often get talked about enough. I feel like I'm a little different because I do feel that I get a lot of love from the indie community, but there are some people who don't. So just, you see a female creator, you see, a trans creator, a non-binary creator, show them some love because it's hard enough to create, let alone do it in this, feel like you're alone in it. So just continue to uplift the women in your life, uplift the creators, who are just don't get recognized enough. And then watch the Zelda Awards this Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern time. I did put the link in the chat and I'm gonna put it in there again. Please subscribe to the channel and get notified and support the show. Our numbers matter. So, if I can say, hey, 200 people tuned in, or, 1,000 people tuned in throughout the night, that says something to sponsors. So, and we can do more of this. So even if it's just for 20 minutes to see your favorite, person win, just support.
That's amazing, y'all. And it's your boy here, Lonzo Star, and I will say, Karla Medrano is Concrete Approved. Luna is Concrete Approved. Black Girl Comics is Concrete Approved. And the Zelda Awards is Concrete Approved, y'all. So y'all know what to do, man. Make sure y'all click that link. Go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Go support this Saturday. It's going to be an amazing event. We're going to see some dope awards being given out. And hopefully we become fans of people that we didn't know. We're out here getting it
Cool.
cracking, man.
Hmm.
So, Carla, I truly appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for
Um,
inviting me.
we got to do this again. Next time you got something cooking up and ready to rock, we're going to do it, man. And y'all know what it is. I got some big announcements coming from Concrete Comics, so make sure y'all stay tuned. On the 18th, we are dropping all 3 issues of Primate on the website. And we got another announcement, y'all. A big announcement. So,
Congrats.
yeah. We got
Congrats.
some announcements. I got a couple emails I'm going through. Might be some projects y'all might like seeing, and I just can't wait, man. Everybody watching, subscribe to both YouTube channels that are on the link on the bio. Make sure y'all follow us, man. And as always, keep it concrete, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Lonzo.